Assassin's going to be, in all likelihood, the off lane. Since they are Radiant, it's going to be decently easy overall. Disrupt it. I don't know. Disrupt, I feel like, is so good mid. I want to see a mid so bad. Liquid, so they're pretty tanky. I mean, 3 out of the 4 are... Even Darkseer's intelligence is... as an intelligence hero, he's still very tanky.
And 3 out of the 4 heroes are heroes Liquid have picked the whole tournament as well. So still not...
And they're melee.
Not so creative. Yeah, they have 3 melees too, but I think Wraith King as a support is really strong. So I don't mind them picking that once again. But now I would disagree if they pick into a Coddle now. It's too predictable. It's what they've run the whole tournament. Even though he has good synergy with their other heroes, I think they should do something else. Actually, it even gets banned by Sneaky Nyx Assassin, so never mind that. If you're Liquid now, you're running the Wraith King as support. They've done that the whole tournament, so they need a secondary.
Liquid, so they're pretty tanky. I mean, 3 out of the 4 are... Even Darkseer's intelligence is... as an intelligence hero, he's still very tanky.
And 3 out of the 4 heroes are heroes Liquid have picked the whole tournament as well. So still not...
And they're melee.
Not so creative. Yeah, they have 3 melees too, but I think Wraith King as a support is really strong. So I don't mind them picking that once again. But now I would disagree if they pick into a tournament, even though he has good synergy.
You're seeing Darkseer tree a lot.
It's,
And
it's
it seems
Too
much so they can't actually push.
So never mind that. If you're Liquid now, you're running the Wraith King as support. They've done that the whole tournament, so they need a secondary. Armor is not considered an extra bonus. So all of the Dragon Blood armor, I believe, is, as a matter of fact, removed by natural
I'm pretty
order.
sure.
Because at least the way it's displayed in the game, when he
It
skills,
doesn't say plus.
it doesn't say plus, so I'm assuming it just adds it to his base armor.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So because of that, Elder Titan is an awesome... armor is not considered an extra bonus. So all of the Dragon Blood armor, I believe, is, as a matter of fact, removed by natural
I'm pretty
order.
sure.
Because at least the way it's displayed in the game, when he
It doesn't say plus.
it doesn't say plus, so I'm assuming it just... Nyx is not so weird, because they really like to play it even without the IO. But the thing that Sneaky Nyx does with Nature's Prophet that they do pretty much differently than every other team is when SNA is playing that in the mid lane, sometimes he gets an instant Dagon, basically, and just starts racking up kills left, right, and center.
But they have 3 really tanky heroes.
Is awesome. You remove the mana from the Wraith King. You can harass the Darkseer really effectively with that, and a hero like Dragon Knight as well. Just that 1 mana burn from... And yeah, if you're Liquid, I feel like Sneaky Nyx actually has a well-rounded draft here. They have the carry and the tiny. They have late game with Nature's Prophet too. They have good pickup opportunities with Nyx and Prophet combined together with the Glimpse. And their laning is going to be okay too. So really, going into this game, no matter what Liquid picks, I don't think Sneaky Nyx are too worried about what heroes they got.
Right. I think Sand King would be pretty decent here because you don't have to worry about the laning stage as much when you have a Wraith King setting up the stuns for you. But they're going to go for Bane, so a little Nightmare into air isn't always the easy thing if they toggle it, but I guess it depends on what lane they're going to be going in and if they're going to be moving around a lot. Again, we talked about how TC shouldn't... feel like they should be in an aggressive tri-lane.
I don't think this Bane pick was good at all.
No?
To be honest. So the reason is, when he grips someone, that guy can get disrupted.
It's true.
There's an 1800 range Glimpse to stop the grip too. There's a Static Storm which counters Bane pretty well as well. Then there's a Nyx who also counters Bane pretty well, because if he has Carapace up when you brain sap him, you heal 0. The good for Liquid
Enfeeble versus Tiny early?
is, yeah, they could run the Enfeeble. This is a commitment from Liquid to get kills early on. If they don't use that Nightmare into Arrow combination very well, I feel like Bane is a very mediocre at best mid-game hero in this particular game. There's just too many counters to him, to be honest, so a little surprised to see Liquid grabbing that. I think there were better options, but if they play a good early game, they're going to silence me on that pick.
My screen! My screen! What is going on, Conrad? Please, Conrad, fix
there we go.
Volvo, thank you.
Vision. And we're
back.
almost up to $5 million prize pool.
Wow, yeah, I was way off. I thought it would be 4. Apparently we're AC and Fear Dota. Man,
Yep.
Conrad is on the ball today, I tell you what, son.
Conrad, have you done anything right today? All right.
Okay, we'll still blame it on Conrad. It's all good. Yes.
Are
Okay,
you
anyway.
Fear?
Yeah, I am Fear. I'm Fear
Oh,
itself.
nice to meet you.
So, going with the lineups here for Sneaky Nyx Assassins first, we're going to have IX Mike playing
They
the...
got stand-in.
What?
Why does it have stand-in
Oh, you're
tag?
right. That is so weird.
Okay.
That new feature just hasn't really worked out yet.
That's awesome. Okay,
Anyhow.
so Nyx Assassins are standing in for themselves.
Yeah,
That's good.
okay, that's good to see. IX Mike playing the Nyx Assassin. We got Whitebeard, of course, on his patented Disruptor, Fluff and Stuff, the Shadow Demon, SNA on SNA playing the, thank God it's not Nyx, although either way this is confusing because they get Nyx every game it seems. Playing the Nature's Prophet and Ush, who's been playing quite a bit of Tiny, although he's very versatile it seems, but Tiny seems to be the hero, his go-to.
Yeah. And on Team Liquid, we do get what we were talking about. Maybe they need to mix things up a little bit. We've got TC in the mid lane
Okay.
playing as the Dragon Knight. So they're going to put Koikva on Ana in the top lane, which TC has been playing pretty much the entire tournament. He will be supported by Demon on the Bane. So again, more act hero for Demon. So far so good for Liquid, I feel. Bulba will be playing as the Darkseid in the off lane as per norm, and Way2 will be playing the second support in the Wraith King.
Which
in that
he's
top
been
lane.
playing that a lot as well.
Yeah.
So. Looks like it's going to be a dual lane, Shadow Demon, Tiny versus Dragon. How do you think this matchup will go for... I don't think they can kill Dragon Knight.
No, but at the same time, Dragon Knight pretty much shouldn't be getting a CS that isn't used by, that he doesn't claim with Breathe Fire. Fluff should be really aggressive on him, keep harassing him, holding him away, securing free farm for Ush. And this mid lane needs to be won heavily by Nyx Assassins, because top lane they're going to get crushed.
Disruption in the Avalanche, but not even
good
at half
damage,
HP.
wow. That hurt him quite
So
a
I guess
lot.
once they get Soul Catcher, see that's the problem though. Like the way that Avalanche toss works, you got to toss the unit itself to be able to get the double damage, I believe. So
Yes.
and it's if you're up close and personal, it's a random chance between that in that AOE. So it's 1 out of 3, I suppose.
Yeah,
I
unless
guess if you
get
position yourself really well.
But that's so hard to set up, and it's kind of one of those plays that when you get it right, it's awesome, but at the same time, it's kind of a risk-reward
Oh,
thing.
there's the toggling. Whitebeard doing a really good job of making. Who is it? It's not TC. It's Koifka, right? Yeah, playing the Mirana, missing the arrow. So that's going to be. I mean, if this was a 3v1, this would be a kill every single time. But with the dual lane, I think really smart play from SNA, setting it up this way.
Yeah, and in combination with that, they have the buffer of Mike also having the Spike Carapace.
That's
so
true too. Yeah.
It is actually, this is really intelligent coming out of Nyx Assassins. As long as they don't get killed up here and they can run this dual lane and Mike gets experience, I think this is a very good start for them. And it is the Radiant off lane. So what we're seeing right now is of course the opportunity they have. They can pull out to the creep wave, actually only managing, oh there we go, he just managed to take that hit. And this is so good for Nyx Assassins when this happens, because it's hard for Liquid to get all this CS. Some of the neutrals die, they share the experience, that's more for them. This is going pretty well so far for Sneaky Nyx Assassins, although the bottom lane, Bulba is dominating pretty heavily. Prophet cannot win this lane.
Yeah. Well, Darkseer wins almost every single lane anyway, so I guess we shouldn't be too shocked. I mean, that's why he's been first pick so often in this tournament. Something to mention, the mana burn from Nyx Assassin isn't necessarily, it's not the worst, but it's not very good against Wraith King, because it's based off of, correct me if I'm wrong, base intelligence and...
Total intelligence.
Okay, total intelligence, which,
yeah.
you know, Wraith King is lacking quite a bit as a strength hero, but it's not... You still use it, though, right? Like, how much does it actually burn?
His intel growth is 1.6, which is pretty low, but still something. And the multiplier for Nyx, of course, scales when he levels it up. On level 1, which we're probably going to see most of the time here in this... I think Mike will probably not level this up. So we're going to see a little bit of harassment coming out on Demon. Actually, the Nightmare here.
Can he toggle it? From the low ground, he's going to do it.
Oh,
Actually, the arrow
nicely played by Mike.
IX Mike tanking the arrow so well, but here comes the Wraith Fire Blast, and this might actually cost him his life because the Spike Carapace is already used, of course. Double Impale to follow. IX Mike still on the run. Koifka, is he going to dive this? One more last hit's going to get the first blood in favor of Liquid, so very close. Well played overall from both sides.
Yeah, I think it was the right call from Koikva there to just go for the melee range arrow on Mike and try to set up a kill, because I love how SNA are being... It just seems like they know exactly how to play this lane. That was beautifully played. They're just 2 against 3, and I don't think they could survive that situation they got into. So pretty well done by them to at least force Liquid to use as much as they did. and almost get out.
Right. Now we have the bottom lane. Of course, Nature's Prophet versus the Darkseer. Darkseer, as you said, is... I don't know if I'd call that dominating. It's 6 creeps. That's not the worst. 7 creeps.
Aw, TP top lane.
Top lane, Nature's Prophet. Speaking of which, it's going to sprout up Koipka, who does not have his leap. Off cooldown, there goes the Impale, finishing him off. IX Mike getting credit for the kill. The right clicks onto SNA himself. Is this going to be enough? The Ray Fire Blast on Whitebeard, they actually might get him instead. One more right click, he's not going to do it. Nightmare applied to IX Mike, toggling left and right. Everybody really low for SNA, but they're able to get out.
And now Ush in the bottom lane going on Bulba. He's level 3 against level 6. This is not going to work out for Ush.
That was an actual illusion rune, right? That wasn't a disruption. So it just goes to show you he's not able to get the true combo off.
Yeah, that was actually,
He wouldn't have gotten the kill either way, but
that didn't really matter. But this rotation from Sneaky Nick's Assassins, of course, with Prophet TPing top, they want to maximize their experience gain, so they rotate the Tiny down to the bottom lane to put a little bit of pressure on Bulba and get a little experience. He's coming back to mid, but the biggest surprise for me right now is how much farm TC has. He's got 24 CS against the 17 of Tiny, and he's playing a 1-on-2 lane.
Yeah,
that's just not good enough if you're Sneaky Nicks. This is a lane you should be winning, and they are not only, I would say they're losing it, even if it's tied on farm, but they're actually getting out farmed, so this is a heavy loss.
Well, it's more, I feel like it's more levels than anything at this point, too. I mean, Dragon Knight's going to hit level 6 before Tiny, be able to push to his heart's content. But I feel like Ush might want to just attempting to bait him in, not even needing to. Dragon Tail, he's already level 6. I didn't even realize that. Speaking of it, but Ush dead. Disruption's not able to be there. Even if he'd gotten it off, it wouldn't have been a save either way.
And with that, 2 for 1 for Liquid. This is one of the games where we should be looking at the graphs really early on, because there's a big pattern here. Almost 2,000 gold lead for Liquid and experience 1,500. So their lanes are just going way better than those of SNA, who...
They've won every lane to some degree.
Yeah, pretty much. Even though the Sneaky Nicks Assassins have been doing okay in the top lane, they still haven't really got any farm. I mean, IX Mike, how many CS does he have? He has 12. Okay, that could be worse. Disruptor has 0 and 0 because he hasn't been pulling or anything, so...
The levels are a little bit more an advantage for SNA for the supports in that tri-lane. But everywhere else, mid is big time won by Dragon Knight now. I mean, he's 2 levels higher, has the kill on Ush, and then bottom lane, as we talked about, Darkseer is pretty much dominating as well. We might have a gank attempt onto TC, who's in dragon form. Not anymore. You're in melee now, bro. Soulcatcher disruption. There's the avalanche. Didn't get the full duration of it, though.
He's just completely surrounded,
but
though.
There's no way he's going anywhere.
Done. That's a high priority kill right there. Highest hero on the Dire side gets ganked. Ush gets the kill.
I would say get bursted, but that didn't feel fast enough. I don't know.
Get wiggled away at. It's more like it. But with this gank from
wiggled? Whittled.
Whittled. Oh, wiggle billy.
Get wiggled. Okay, we can do that. It's fine. Actually, top lane, Thunderstrike. That's gonna give him a little bit of vision into the glimpse. Kinetic field. Lovely. Impale's gonna miss, and IX Mike has absolutely no mana to speak of. Nice toggling of the Nightmare, but that's gonna set up the air onto Whitebeard, who's only level 3. This is just domination from Liquid in the early laning stages. IX Mike now on the run. He has Spike Carapace, could potentially dodge a little bit of damage, but the Ray Fire Blast, he does have mana for it. Not gonna pursue though. And Liquid just on top of things right now.
Yeah, they got them bottom tier 1 tower, and IX Bulba has a lot of farm. I don't know how that turned into Mike for me. He's got 50 CS at 7 minutes or 8 minutes, which is just pretty damn good. Also didn't have the hardest lane, so we would be expecting that from Bulba.
Oh boy. What's
is
going on, gods? Oh, okay. Gotta mute the co-broadcasters, which he's still finding.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we're good. We're almost good. Call this fight, Cinderin, for me. Why don't you?
Yeah, so we're gonna have a gank coming in from Bulba. He has skilled the wall, and they will be getting Whitebeard here. Dragon Knight gets disrupted. Bulba actually has to kind of get the hell out of here. He's getting really, really low. The Shadow Demon has a Soul Catcher on. Needs one more hit. Dodges it by running down.
What
that
am I
Shadow Voice
watching
was
right
just
now?
completely off.
What am I watching?
Hope you enjoyed the Spotify, so.
This is awesome.
But the Liquid kind of got away with murder there. They got the kill on Whitebeard. They forced TPs. None of their heroes died. Bulba escaped with the skin of his teeth. And we'll be going back to base. Almost has the mechanism at 9 minutes.
Right.
That tier 1 tower in mid didn't take too much damage though. So the dragon form got them the kill, but nothing more.
Yeah. Whitebeard level 3.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him get dominated like this. He's gonna use his Thunder Strike, I'm sure, to get these creeps low, so Ush can get a nice stack. That'll bring him back to some degree. I mean, anytime there's a tomato and potato there, it's good. It's good feeding. Yeah, Liquid, they seem to be they're on their rotations right now, and I feel like that, aside from the laning difference, that's the difference in the game right now.
Yeah, so...
Pull roots and run!
Tingling in his testicles and will fall back, no problem. But of course, Dragon Knight's one of those here. He's not going to take down your tower right away. It's more like you peck at it a couple times and eventually it'll go down. Because it's, 20 damage per second for 5 seconds and it doesn't stack. So it's not like you can just continue to take. What are you laughing about, Cinder?
Dragon testicles, that's kind of funny.
That's
Okay.
pretty hardcore.
A little bit of a ward being dropped down here by Sneaking. So they're trying to safeguard their own jungle. I believe this ward will actually block their pull, so they can't use that camp for the next 7 minutes, which is, I guess, maybe not too worrying. I think they want the safety more than anything, but it's the small advantages right now, and Liquid are just going to keep building on their advantage. They've got so good farm. Top lane, SNA is going to be in a lot of trouble. Way 2 coming in. This is a great TP coming in from Qualifiers. Going to be an easy kill, double Starstorm, and a single
I never
attack.
realized how small the AoE is on the second Starstorm. Did you know? It's like 175 AoE.
Hey, you need to be in
It's
melee.
ridiculously
That's it.
small. Anywho, Qualifiers doing a very good job on Mirana. He's being active, and I feel like TC could do that if he wanted to on Mirana, but it's just not something we see that often. But he's going to be Dragon. You're kind of forced to be active with Dragonite, so I guess that in itself is fine. IX Mike, Vendetta up, going to find Demon in his own jungle. The question is, can he get the combo off?
It's very easy in this area. Now it's not so easy anymore. In that tree line, Demon can't really run anywhere.
Oh boy.
Radiant's middle
Well,
tower is under attack.
It's time to sleep him, so I guess Demon's going to be fine.
My God!
No
He's
stun for
gonna
Nature's
get
Prophet.
out.
Oh my.
Radiant's
If only
top
the
tower is
that's not
under
a
attack.
disjoint, but the sprout that
Ow,
pushes
ow,
you
ow.
obviously doesn't cancel any TPs, but tier 1 tower next on the list for Liquid.
And all of these, every time a mistake like this happens, it's not just that they don't get the kill, but they
Dire's
waste
middle
ton.
tower
And this is
is
going to
under
cost them a
attack.
tier 1 tower top. If they get that kill and they push heavily bottom, perhaps they can get a trade here,
Radiant's
but
top tower is under attack.
now Bane is already back and he will come bottom and probably pull away the creeps here, so... Costly mistake. Liquid will be taking the top
Radiant's
tier 1
top
on
tower
Dragon
has
Knight. He can buy
fallen.
full Midas now if he wants to, or aim for that early BKB, which we haven't talked about just yet, but exactly how good that is against the lineup of the Sneaky Nyx Assassins. It is the item of choice here. Karko will be getting a Midas on the Mirana, and... Oh,
He has a Midas on the Mirana.
yeah, sorry. The question is if TC will be getting his.
Moonlight
We don't know
Shadow.
that yet.
This is going to be a gank attempt onto SNA himself. Dragon Tail should be in range for this, along with the Ion Shell, but not really full advantage. Now he finally does. Here come the 2 TPs from SNA. Beautiful Sprout. TC's actually in quite a bit of trouble. The arrow isn't going to connect other than creeps. Soul Catcher should be enough for the right. Actually, the wand doing quite a bit for TC.
Oh,
to
he
keep
might
him
get away
alive.
here.
Very close. The right clicks, are they there?
Oh,
Shadow
Bulba!
Poison, that's 2 stacks.
Oh,
Not
Bulba,
gonna need him.
no!
He goes, what happened?
Bulba ran next to TC to try to help him out, and then he surged himself.
Oh no. Double click on the
God,
surge.
that's
Or just
unfortunate.
complete
Kind of a
misclick?
panic play. I think TC could have potentially got away there, but still, with how he got caught out of the tower, he should have probably died. So at the end of the day, maybe it's fair enough he ends up dying. But that was a little bit weird. Seems like there's some nerves for both teams. It is of course a really important match, but a little more misplays in general than I feel like we've seen from both teams for the rest of the
Glimpse.
tournament.
There's the
This
kinetic
glimpse.
field into Static Storm. Way 2 has his ultimate, so we'll fall here. Question is, does he have any backup? And looking at the minimap, the answer is an emphatic no. He's going to try to get the kill on Whitebeard,
Ooh.
not able. The dot
Radiant's
damage,
top
you love
tower
that
is under
word.
attack.
I hate
Dot
it.
damage, I'm going to continue to do it. I don't give a crap anymore. Uh-oh. Oh, Ush. Getting Nightmare, nice toggle again, but this might cause SNA to die as a result. They're going to continue upon Ush though.
Demon just took it over for some reason.
Okay, well Soul Catcher, Impale, goodbye Darkseer, Sprout on.
Too soon. You make a fine humus. The wood.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah. This is not that far behind. If Tiny gets his Aghanim's up, they could return this game. And Glimpse gonna be used there probably if they can get vision. No vision.
No, they don't have
TC.
a ward down because they re-sentryed mid on liquids.
Yeah. Really get that one, but they're gonna try and hold the tower. Arrow actually flies in, almost hits.
So, if you're SNA, you just keep playing, I guess, around what Liquid are doing basically until your Tiny gets enough farm.
You need to move, yeah. Exactly what you mean with playing around them is just sending the Fury into a lane, pushing out the lanes, keeping the attention away from the Tiny, and just allowing him to get that Aghanim's up, because I think they could be fine if they just don't die with the Tiny and play it safe. They would actually be fine around the 25-30 minute mark to take some team fights again. But right now, 5-on-5 fight, Liquid will win every single time if they're on equal starts, like same HP, etc. So I think they're gonna have to play careful, but they're actually gonna go for some smoke pickups.
Oh, there's a courier there. SNA's going for it. He needs to hit it 3 times, though he throws the
he
Sprout
can't.
for vision. Oh man.
So let's not get it. He has a TP, ready to TP out, but his team is also here smoke ganging, so as he TPs out, he has his ulti ready. IX Michael looking for a kill with that Vendetta.
Qualifiers in a great spot though, and Demon and Bulba are well behind the tier 2, so I don't really think they're going to be able to find much from this. Anything, they might loop around mid and try to go for TP, or just try to kill the tower.
Yeah, but this is exactly what we were talking about as well, trying to create space for Ush, going for some ganks some other places, and just keeping the attention on another lane than the one that Tiny is in.
CC is really close to his BKB. I think this game is pretty volatile in terms of when each team is stronger. Like as soon as the DK gets a BKB, suddenly you feel like, oh man, Liquid are going to be in a really good spot because that's a hero that just flat out isn't going to die for 10 seconds.
Yeah, but then when the Tiny finishes the Aghanims and maybe an Assault QS or a BKB, then we're going to feel the same way if it finishes that at a decent timing. So you're definitely right in that regard. In mid lane now, 5-man Dota coming in from Liquid. Are they going to defend this tower or sack it? It's a really low HP tower, hard to defend, and the team fight, as I said, I don't think they have too much to put up, but I guess if they get a really good disruptor play, they could maybe take a fight.
Yeah, I think the vacuum wall is too scary at this point. Here on the side of Liquid.
They're going to be the ones to start it off, going for a DK immediately. Gonna burst him down, I think.
Oh, what a combo. He's going to get nightmared by Demon. The glimpse back on Bulba as well. And TC's going to drop. Bulba's solo as well. One more auto attack coming out. Actually, I think the Poison got the kill on Fluff right there. Demon, he's inside of the Sprout. Suddenly, SNA just
what
turned
just
it around,
happened?
man.
That combination, nice initiation there from IX Mike, and somehow they just landed this up perfectly. Ush had some really nice initiation as well, walking in next to the kinetic field. And as I said, the static storm from Disruptor, it's so good when he plays it correctly, and he completely shut down Liquid in that fight.
I think the biggest problem right now is that Bulba didn't have a blink. So what ended up happening is TC and Bulba were right on top of each other against the Tiny. And that just simply can't happen. Like Bulba died without even using wall. He mech'd, but he wasn't able to wall vacuum anything. And I think that's...
This is really scary now all of a sudden for Liquid. Losing that fight, 3 heroes, and losing the tier 1 tower mid. This is what SNA needed. Now the game is really at an even space, I feel. Yeah. But you don't want to go into the mid-game, late-game against a tiny team with the even standings.
Especially
you want to be ahead.
Ush always has a DD for some reason.
Yeah,
he had a DD before, he got another DD.
He has been checking every single rune though, but a lot of DDs have been spawning, so lucky in that regard because it's one of the best runes you can get for Tiny. And haste, I guess, is also really nice. But as soon as he has his Aghanims now with a DD rune, if they had a stack on the Ancients or anything like that, he could clear it immediately. But Furin has been farming the Ancients quite a lot this game. And now Blink on Nyx. This is looking better and better for SNA actually, because they managed to pull that combo off without Blink on Nyx or anything like that.
Yeah.
I'm actually really impressed.
I think Liquid were maybe a bit overconfident. Like TC up until this point has been pretty hard to take down. Like when they kill him, they have to throw everything on him. And I guess that fight was no exception. But with his whole team behind him, he probably just felt more secure than just him farming a lane, right?
Yeah.
So,
I don't think they're going to be that confident anymore, though, because that's the third time in a row that they lose a fight, and pretty handedly in that last one. So at this point, I think Liquid, they feel like they're behind, but they really have to pressure and keep the Tiny down. They can't let him farm up now. If he gets the items, there's no way that they're going to out-carry him with the heroes that they have. I don't think so. So again, even though SNA winning 3 fights in a row, the pressure is still on Liquid to make something happen. They have to go, and they have to go now, I feel.
well, I think when the BKB's finished, which is about 120 gold away right now on TC, that's going to be their timing window. Bulba actually bought an Ogre Club, which BKB Darkseer against this kind of a team, you definitely understand it. It's like, okay, yeah, they have a Nyx, they have Tiny Combo, they have Disruptor ulti, which as Darkseer, you have to be in the fight.
Yeah, I think maybe Blink could have been better, but it's a good choice for sure. I mean, Blink could still have been cancelled by maybe a Wrath of Nature or something like that, so safer way to go for a BKB. Gotta try on top here with Mirana Invis, but we see Disruptor playing really safe, not even farming the lane, so good awareness as no one is farming any lane from Liquids. He just knows that something is up. But with the BKB timings, they also have a Blade Mail actually on the Wraith King, even though he's playing the support role. So he has some decent farm. They could be taking some nice fights, but man, they cannot wait too long, really.
Yeah, Tiny's actually started to pull ahead in net worth, whereas before, at some point, TC was actually above Ush.
Yeah.
But that is no longer, man. Like,
which is actually insane, to be honest, that TC was farming that well against the dual lane of SD Tiny. TC has been playing really good this game, but then the team synergy of Liquids in the mid lane fights have not really been there. They haven't been ready for these fights that they have been taking.
I don't know, man. I really want to say that SNA are going to have the better late game, but I mean, it is Mirana, Dragon Knight, and potentially some semi-carry potential out of the Wraith King. And Darkseer is...
of course.
He's very good against Tiny.
Yeah.
If you manage to get a good wall, I don't want to count Liquid like super far behind, but I think the start that they were given, it shouldn't have been allowed to get to this point where SNA suddenly are just the ones who can apply pressure themselves, and Liquid are the ones who are actually playing defensive.
To an extent, I agree that they have like pretty good late game, but what for me does it is the fact that the staples that they have are not that reliable towards late game. Sure, you have like DK stun and stuff like this, but what I mean by reliable is that Blink Nyx with a stun is really good. The Tiny stun can then follow up. The AoE from these spells and the initiation power is much simpler to pull off. When you look over to Liquid, sure they have the Darkseer with the vacuum, but what are they gonna vacuum into? Starstorm and Dragon Breath? Like that doesn't matter late game. You have the Bane for single targets, you have the DK for single targets, you have Mirana again for single target, and Wraith King for single target. So team fights late game I think are gonna be really hard. And you can't really split push against a team with Nyx Assassin and Furion. So to me, SNA, because of this reason, have the stronger late game. And then Tiny, of course, is always a scary beast.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I usually don't think of the whole split pushing thing anymore because, to be honest, it's been seen a couple of times, but it's not as prevalent as it used to be.
Oh,
like,
no.
People are more about fighting than they are about split pushing, trying to get like lane advantages and trying to just smash you down in like 20, 25 minutes.
Yeah. Definitely, and we're not seeing that long games anymore, to be honest, in the current...
Outside of yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. In the current state, though, of the meta, compared to like 6 months ago, the games were definitely longer back then, I would say. Probably some stats guy know this, but on bottom lane, we could see a kill on Qualifiers here if the Furion wants to go shout at him and gotta try, but oh, he doesn't get the demonic purge on him. To get the disruption first, I think he could just have purged him because it's longer range, but oh well. Close, close.
IX Mike's going to get spotted out by a sentry top as well, so way 2 is just fine. He's kind of transitioned into more of a farming role. Like, he was playing a hard support before, but now he's actually gotten quite a bit more gold. I think he's probably working his way towards a Blink Dagger. Right now, Liquid don't have any Blinks.
Liquid want to take this later now. I mean, if they wanted to pressure, they would pressure as soon as they had a BKB on Tiny. They still don't want to give up towers too easily, though, tipping down to bottom, searching in the DK, actually.
They're going to go for the
Dire's
Dragon Tail.
bottom
Nightmare's going to
tower
go on to
has
Ush. TC pops the BKB. They want to try to take him out as fast as humanly possible.
Nice
Very nice
disruption.
defensive disruption, though. He's going to try to TP out, but he gets vacuumed. I think Ush might actually go down here. He is so tanky, though. They just don't have enough damage after the combo to try to kill him. There will be another Dragon Tail, though, and he eventually does drop. And that's 5 people. Like,
That's 5 people committed, and sure, they get the tiny kill. Now, maybe gonna try to get the tier 2 tower on bottom, but Furin is already on top lane and trying to push this out. And the only reason I feel they could kill that tiny is because that was not 5-man Dota from SNA. They had 3 heroes pushing at tier 3 a little bit too aggressively as well, because Tiny did not back out even as the DK ran in surged.
Yeah.
So I think maybe they could have gotten out, and this is nice. I like this from Liquid trying to go for a Roshan attempt instead, because pushing bot tower when top is being lost is
Dire's
not a
top
great
tower
trade
is
for them.
under attack.
But getting a Roche, get that Aegis, they have some potential to take a good team fight in the future. This could actually be really nice. But Bane, Demon trying to defend. I don't know about this.
yeah, he's a goner.
Yeah.
It's not so great. Teleport reaction coming in. It's actually going to be Bulba, but it's a long TP. Can they actually get the kill here? on
Dangerous
SNA?
for Liquid, actually.
Yeah, I think they actually kill him. Oh, he's blocking himself with his own.
Yeah, the
Top tower
Necroburg's
is
burning his
under
mana. He has
attack.
no mana at
Burning
all.
it.
And he has some Magic Wand charges. He wants to Magic Wand and then switch back to Intreads. Get the mana up. Can he do it? Oh, he gets
does.
it! Nice.
And he did
Really
get
nice
killed
play.
with the mana burn because there was no mana. But Way2 still alive. Ix Mike's going to blink away. SNA teleports back in. Way2, he's got the...
Dire,
But he eats the
Roshan
wrong
has
tree.
fallen
He
to
couldn't
Dire.
actually get himself out. In the meantime, Liquid do manage to kill Roshan. Quake's going to secure himself an Aegis and Bulba. He does not have a mech
Oh,
anymore.
he's gonna live here, actually.
No.
Oh,
Glimpse,
Glimpse.
man.
Wow, that range.
You don't live against Glimpse, unfortunately.
Glimpse OP.
It's a
I like the
very
10
sad
HP Blade Mill.
top
That's
tower is
the
under
sadness
attack.
Blade Mill.
Dire's
Actually,
top
both
tower has fallen.
trying to go in for something here, but the entire team of SNA are here and ready. BKB has to be used by Bulba. Gonna walk out.
That's a 10-second BKB as well.
10-second BKB is gone, and that's the best one that you have, so sadness for Bulba.
They lost the safe lane tier 1 and they got Roshan. I would actually say that Liquid probably came out there a tiny bit ahead because I think they needed the Aegis advantage to win a fight.
Yeah.
I don't think SNA needed an Aegis to be able to win a team fight, especially considering Ush finished up his BKB in the time that we were talking about those 2 engagements. So
Yeah.
I think it's actually okay for Liquid.
I think it's okay as well. In pure numbers, I think it's a little bit bad the fact that they lost both the Wraith King and Demon. But still, as you say, they needed the Aegis. Because of the value for them to have an Aegis in the next team fight, I think they came a little bit ahead.
Well, we'll see if
Bottom
they're able
lane.
to make anything happen with it. They're going to cast Moonlight Shadow, but SNA is out of here, man.
Yeah, he's been playing really good on his split push. Furin actually has died once this game. I guess a team that is so single target heavy and has so sneaky heroes with the Moonlight Shadow and stuff, he has died once.
I think a lot of that is due to the fact that SNA just typically play very proactive Dota. Like, they don't like to sit around.
Yeah.
They look for kills. Even when they're really far behind, they look for engagements. So
Yeah, that mid fight that they took was the turning point for them in this game because
Yeah.
they were falling behind, they were having issues, and then after just getting a triple, not a triple kill, but getting 3 kills and getting the tier 1 tower was so huge for them. And now they went for BKB first on Tiny, not going for the Soul Cuirass, and I liked his decision in this game. Because, as you say, the way they play, they want to take fights, they want to push, they want to have things going for them. Assault Cuirass is a little bit better to get first if you just want to farm up.
Yeah.
Or maybe just a value Hyperstone into BKB. But this is perfectly fine, and he has the gold for Hyperstone already, so it doesn't slow down his farm by any
because
means.
of his damage output, it's like, it's not a big deal. to
And
go BKB.
he has a DD rune always, so
Yeah, it's just fine. Like, BKB, pop the
entire
DD
game,
and
man.
just go ham. But let's talk about Quakefoot because he's the one who got the Aegis. He's actually going BKB as well after making a Manta. Now, if I were to go BKB, I think I would probably make an item that was a bit more offensive first, like maybe go Yasha, but don't finish the full Manta. Because what are you really trying to Manta this game?
Yeah, I'm not sure about this. I would probably go for the Mjolnir in this game. It would be pretty good for him to get the extra damage from magical damage and just have some more aggressive item.
Yeah.
Because BKB and Mana Style is very, very defensive play, and the damage will be lacking. He won't be dealing enough damage, so he kind of relies on the Wraith King, who has been trying to farm up, and he's actually going Maelstrom. But I don't know, man. I think he could have went for something more aggressive.
Well, maybe it's just that Liquid want to pull the game a little bit farther because they do have Midas on him, right? So
Yeah.
it's not like he's going to be farming that slow. It's just if they fight, I don't think he'll die, but I don't know if he's going to be enough of a damage threat to really make SNA be like, oh yeah, we need to deal.
That's true. This game is the game of good runes, man. Like, I have seen DD runes and haste runes all game long. This is a beautiful game for any core hero, really.
Yeah. I wish I had games like this.
Yeah.
Usually I go to runes and I get illusions.
Yeah. They don't really want to go on Mirana mid lane, else the Nyx would already be on her. Because of the Aegis, it's not really worth risking it. If someone is standing behind, it's a high risk kill. But, I mean, Liquid, with the item build now, they have BKB on 3 heroes coming in. I mean, they have 2 already, on the Darkseer as well as the DK. And if they...
Smoke, though.
Yeah. Here, actually...
Oh, Quakebot. In trouble. The Disruptor's actually not close enough, I don't think.
Got the ulti.
Unless they have vision. They're going to be able to get the stun off. I think Quakefoot loses his Aegis here. He does not have his BKB done yet, and he's already manted. Demon's up on the high ground.
They have to back, I
coming
think.
in. There's a surge, though. Bulba, he's got the blink. He gets a vacuum on 4. The wall's going to hit on pretty much everyone as well. They're going to be able to backstab and get wiped here. TC's got the BKB pop. SNA is going to be dropping as well. Liquid,
this is no good
looks
fight
to be taking this fight. Ush has his BKB pop. He throws out the avalanche, but it's simply not enough.
Oh, they should really back out. After they commit the Disruptor ulti to killing an Aegis Mirana, you have to back out. You cannot take a team fight. And they knew that people were close. They knew that Darkseer was on top lane, and they knew that there were people from mid lane coming in as well. So a little bit overly aggressive by SNA this time, and this could be the break that Liquid needed. They have been playing very patiently, not pressing the advantage like I thought they would.
Yeah.
But now we will see if they can actually get something out of this.
Oh man, that was so strange because they were going right into a choke point, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
really bad spot against Darkseer. That's a nightmare to fight there.
And they had vision. Like, there was a ward there, and they saw Bulba coming, and then he gets a 4-man vacuum into a wall, and then suddenly, like, if the Tiny gets hit by the wall, you need to run. Or you need to kill it.
Yeah, I think it's nerves and just, you know, the pressure, the weight of this tournament is coming down as well. It's like, oh, we kill him once, we want to kill him again, though, can we do it? And then the decision did not come fast enough, and when they realized that Darkseer is coming in and they're getting fucked, it was too late. You can't really run out, so anything from that is just damage control. And I think they got away with the Shadow Demon and the Nyx, but that's kind of sad. Losing the Furion as well as the Tiny Disruptor, of course, not that important. He has a Blink Dagger already. Always goes for this build, by the way. But losing the Tiny and Nature's Prophet, that hurts them a lot.
And I think really the biggest thing is, because of the fact that Liquid do have a very good late game, I don't know who I favor. Like, a 6-slotted DK against a 6-slotted Tiny.
Yeah,
it's a matchup we don't really see that much, right?
No, but the DK normally doesn't get like fully farmed that fast, but the carry potential from Liquid comes from more than just one hero as well. They have this everyone contributes kind of carry role, where Wraith King, Dragon Knight, Mirana, and the Darkseer Illusions. So they pretty much have not one hero that has to do everything. And I don't know about that though, because he's kind of bad against one really strong hero, like a Void or something that's really crushing down. But when he has to kill a lot of sort of strong heroes, Tiny is the man. Like, that's the one you want to have.
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it. Like, against other extremely tanky heroes like Lifestealer, for example, he's not really that good against.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Unless you're like way ahead of him and weighs most.
Yeah, exactly. But if a Lifestealer or a Void or anything like that, with good items, Super Basher on Lifestealer or BKB Void with some damage items, then Tiny could have a trouble against that, standing up against it. But in this game, to be honest, I think it goes beyond just who has the stronger late game and carry at this point, and just execution in team fights. How do you use your spells? When do you use them? I think they didn't at all need to use the Static Storm to get a solo kill on Mirana's Aegis there. They could have saved that one for when she respawns and maybe keep it up for when Darkseer was running in, and the fight could have been much better. But this is, you know, this is Captain Hindsight right here. When things are going down, you have to just try and prioritize the best you can.
Well, I think the Static Storm up until this point, like, it's been a really good thing to have, because it stops Bulba from being able to just walk into the fight and become a nuisance. Because of the fact that he went BKB, even if there's a Static Storm down, he BKB.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, Whitebeard's presence, I don't really think is as great as he wants it to be.
Yeah, we're gonna go back into the game now, resuming. And that fight that they lost, the Fiend Script, by the way, I don't know if you call it, was like a half a second Fiend Script, so seeing a lot of short Fiend Scripts, but wasn't even needed a long way in that fight. Not sure if they're gonna get this tower, pressuring it mid, but 3 heroes alive now from SNA and only 2 pressuring really. I think they can defend this if they know that Wraith King is not even close.
I don't know, man. They're getting a lot of free damage, and Glyph has already been used. Whitebeard's here. He's going to blink forward, throws out a kinetic field for vision.
Oh, he doesn't have a TV. He's stuck in the trees. Stay in the trees?
Stay in those trees.
Stay in those trees.
At least for another 10 seconds and then leave out.
I would stay at least 5 more seconds from now on.
It makes sense, man. And
Oh, are they gonna see him? They're walking up. They might see him. Oh, he leaps away. And they actually ping it. They knew that he was right there, but a little bit too late.
Cool thing I actually like about having a disruptor on your team with blink is that Glimpse is already. Oh wow, they're gonna hit him with that glimpse.
That's insane.
Holy
Whitebeard showing why he goes for that blink dagger on his disruptor every single game. That's insane that they caught that kill.
Yeah.
I could not believe it. But
That ward, man. That value ward.
yeah,
Got him right as he gets up to the high ground.
that was crazy. I actually like what Liquid were doing though, as they were pressuring mid. If they brought the Wraith King, then maybe they would have gone in the tower, but he was actually farming up the entire time. Or mid now, trying to get something back here. And look at that tiny damage against towers. It's just gone.
Dire's middle tower
Immediately.
has fallen.
And he's almost got his AC as well. So I think the timing in terms of finishing the AC for both teams will be pretty much the same.
They could pressure here a little bit. I think so as well, but I think they should pressure here a little bit, get some damage onto this tower. They're sitting behind the tiny, and Feeble is annoying for him though.
It's so dangerous though to do this. Like,
Yeah, but Mirana, they can force out a BKB. We'll see. Oh, buyback. We will see if they walk away. They still have the BKB on tiny, so even with a perfect chain stun, they have the disruption, and then after the disruption, you just BKB and walk away.
Yeah.
So I think they're pretty okay. And dude, Wake 2 has been farming non-stop for the last 5 minutes. He hasn't been pushing mid, he hasn't been defending mid. He's just been in Radiant jungle farming up non-stop.
that's what he needs to do though. Like, if they want to be able to take it late, they need another hero who can actually stand inside of the fight. Like right now they have TC, I guess, and Bulba, but as soon as Bulba's BKB goes down, he becomes a pretty squishy target, right? So
Yeah.
having a third hero who can be in the fray, have Darkseer wall, things like that to be able to stun people, get more illusion damage uptime is really nice. It's still like such an even game.
Yeah, I like this from SNA though. They realize that right now they are a little bit ahead in terms of fighting, and they can just pressure down these towers. Because of this build from Mirana, lacking damage, sure they have a lot of BKBs, but I don't think that the teamfight from Liquid is that intimidating. TP was cancelled. Was that a misclick?
Well, he definitely can't get there now.
Well,
He's on the other
It doesn't
side.
really matter at this point. This tower is just dead.
Dire's
That was
top
actually
tower has
Qualifier cancelling his TP as he was TPing in. I think he didn't have anything to be scared of as he has Manta and BKB when he lands, but
Maybe he just didn't want to have to BKB the glimpse.
dude, he's far away. He has to get back and defend now. If Liquid, SNA realized that that was Mirana on bottom lane that canceled TP, which they should, yeah, they can't force this. He's way off position. This is bad.
Well, they're going to be able to catch out Ush with the stun. Here comes the blink in. Bulba gets a vacuum on 3. The wall's actually going to hit as well, this time on Tiny, and the rest of SNA are just going to try to walk out. Tiny getting stunned once again, forced to pop his own BKB. And
Mirana
for IX
finally
Mike,
here.
he's just stuck inside of the fight all by himself, and Bush is trying to make his way out here with the BKB and should be able to make it.
Dire's
Looks
middle
like
barracks
everyone is
has
actually going to
fallen.
get out of this scotch-free. Not a single person dies, but they lost their range rack.
Nice play by Koiko. Actually got the Tiny there, and yeah, they
Dire's
lost the
middle
range racks.
barracks are
This
under
pressure from
attack.
Necro and the Koreans.
Wait, how did he get? Did he arrow? Arrow.
He leapt in, arrowed, and then got glimpsed by Disruptor, so he came
Okay.
back again. So that was one of those, thank you, Disruptor, for bringing me out of harm's way after I kill your friend.
That's the
best glimpse.
Yeah, not so great. So, I mean, they killed the Tiny, but SNA do get a range racks. Not the hugest deal, but it does push the lane in.
It,
I mean,
it all
that's
comes down to, I mean, if Liquid can't really punish the death time now from Tiny more than getting a tier 2 mid maybe, then SNA are fine with this, because getting a Rax this early in is actually a big deal.
Now, they see an SNA down here, I think.
Yeah.
Quakefa threw an arrow, and then they pinged it out, I guess. Quakefa decides that he doesn't want to try to go for the kill. Fair.
Yeah, Furion should just TP up top now and pressure another tower. Of course, Roshan's up, so Liquid's gonna back out and try to get that one. I'm not sure if SNA can do anything about the Roshan attempt, actually.
They're really far away, and
Yeah.
Ush is just reviving right now. If he wants to go, he's going to have to like TP immediately and start walking.
And he doesn't, so this should be a free Roshan for Liquid by the looks of it. Some scouting gonna come out from Nyx maybe, but it's always dangerous to go and scout with just a miss. Actually, they're backing off. They were scared that SNA came smoking in or something.
They don't have a sentry down anywhere, so they could be afraid of the Nyx as well. And
Yeah,
they don't have
true.
oh, they do have a gem now, actually. Way too has it.
Yeah, they have a gem, but at this point, yeah, I guess it's scary to just go for it. They didn't have too aggressive of wards, so at this point SNA, they kind of got away cheap there. Gonna try and get the Roshan now once again, but this could be stopped, I think, for sure.
Well, they're kind of hesitating a really long time. I just think Liquid's in such a good position for this, to be honest. Like, Bulba's sitting on the high ground over here, ready to blink in with the vacuum inside of the Roche.
And they dropped it.
Roshan
Yeah,
has
they bailed,
fallen
man.
to the
Yeah,
dire.
they bail. And again, the Aegis being put on the Mirana. I think maybe you would want it on the DK in this case because of the defensive items on Mirana. She's already quite fine. But he's also playing very aggressively with Qualifiers, so it's pretty fine to have that Aegis on him. Allows him to play even more aggressively. And again, a DD rune on Tiny. This is like the 7th DD rune. I'm not even kidding.
Every time I look at him, he's glowing blue.
Yeah,
And that's
600 damage Tiny, pretty good. Oh, they're gonna fight here.
Oh, wow. Nice blink stun. TC's going to eat the Static Storm Kinetic Field and Stun Toss combo as well.
Nice
Way
Hex.
too. Now in some trouble. This is a gem. If he drops it, a 5-man vacuum comes out with the
But
wall.
it's
It really doesn't hit on that
nothing
many
full of it.
people. Oh, man. Way too. He's trying to make his way out. He does not have enough mana for reincarnation. Barely does. Just over 140. If he gets hit by the Necro Book, he will go down, but looks like he's
Dyer's
fine.
Yeah, they just
barracks
got off
are
a melee
under
racks now.
attack.
Look at that DD
Dire's
Tiny.
structures
Oh
are
my god.
fortified.
This Rax is dead. Like, I don't really think they can defend this. There's even a Necro Book out. Really nice pick there from SNA.
Yeah,
Dire's
that was
middle
really nice
barracks
timing
has
as well.
fallen.
Blinking in by Nyx Assassin, IX Mike, clutch right here. And of course, the DK does have a BKB, so when you get blinked, it's really a matter of does he have time to react to my blink in before I stun him? And that's really split decision or a split time. Again, a haste rune. Like I can't get over this, man. The runes in this game are just so good. This is the holy grail of rune games.
Yeah. Has there been like any?
I don't think I've seen one region and one invis, I think. 2 invis maybe. And I don't know about illusions. No, I don't think so.
I
One?
mean, there could have been one and we just didn't see it, but we're mainly focusing on like the good runes.
Exactly.
I mean, illusion has
The
its
good
benefits, but DD and haste are
Every rune has its time to shine, for sure. That is true. But we will see how this game plays out now. Getting raxed by Liquid is not really what we want to have happen. At least they still have the Aegis. But going into late game is one thing. We already talked about what we think about that. But when you lose Rax early on against the Tiny
and a Prophet as well.
and a Prophet, you get in such a lockdown position because Prophet is going to push one lane and then the team fight from SNA can also take a really strong push going 4-man on bottom lane with Furion being able to come in and join them. I don't know, man. It's a lot of pressure on Liquid and how they want to take this next fight. Not sure how they're going to find it because they have 2 wards out right now and one of them is on Roche Pit, but they're not too aggressive wards. They need some vision deep in the enemy line so they actually know the rotations before they happen. Sure, they will see that pressure is coming down on bottom lane now, but they see it when it's coming. You need to see it before it's coming so that you can
Dire's
anticipate your
bottom
enemy's
tower
movement.
is under attack.
And that's just another great benefit of proactive play, is that
Yeah.
if SNA had not been playing aggressively, they never would have had the opportunity to get that melee racks because they wouldn't have found a pick close to Liquid space.
Yeah, SNA, I really think so as well. They're not sitting back and letting anything go to chance or just, you know, a lot of players in the pro scene will always the same about late game. Going late game is risky. Don't like going late game because one mistake could lose you a game. Even though you're better than your opponents, you might lose because of one bad blink or whatever. So the way that SNA are playing is really more active and they're doing stuff all the time. So it's less risk actually. Tiny killing his friends. What are you doing, Tiny?
Hey man,
It's
they
gold.
were good for nothings. All they do is there. They don't contribute anything, man.
They don't
Tinies.
even have Aghanims.
Yeah, they don't even. So Liquid are actually starting to move out themselves. I like this quite a bit. Now, it's tougher for them because they have to play against a Prophet, and there's always lanes that are getting pushed out. But, I mean, they have to do something, right? I don't think they can sit on their own side of the map and hope to win because
Take
right
a
now-
go, but look at SNA as well in their play. They just bring up the Tiny to the top lane as well. Gotta push to tier 3 and say, hey, you can maybe get our tier 2, but you're not gonna force a rack scenario. We're not even gonna defend our own high ground. We're gonna force you to come back and defend. And Liquid, not even going for a tier 2
Radiant's
tower. They're gonna
bottom
just back
tower
off.
is under
Yeah,
attack.
they have to go back straight away.
So here, if SNA want, and they actually look like they will do that, just back off again, and they have bought even more time for this game. And when you have one racks down on your opponent and you have a Tiny for late game, you're perfectly fine taking this game another 10 minutes and then taking some action.
Honestly, in this case, like, you fake back, right? Like, you back with maybe one hero who's not really that important, and then maybe SNA feels secure, and you
Yeah.
just like, smoke and you gank the Prophet or something. Bring a lane. Now, even if it forces a buyback, that's enough, right? Like, you've at least bought yourself some time instead of SNA just saying, okay, we're going to pull you all over the place, and you're never going to have an opportunity to just get damage on our tier 2s, which right now SNA still have all 3 of their tier 2s standing at 40 minutes in. Granted, some of them aren't the healthiest tier 2. They're there, which means that you can't counter pressure the base.
Oh, they're trying mid. This is kind of scary for SNA, but they're taking the fight anyway. Hex was kind of wasted there, no follow-up. And now Liquid, they can't really catch. They don't have a disruptor.
On the Wraith King, though, he's going to get surged forward.
Well, he's
he wants
hammering.
to find somebody. He's not going to be able to. He does have a Mjolnir now, which is pretty good. Put it on himself. He can put it on TC.
Yeah.
This is actually a really good position because the lanes aren't that far pushed out in favor of SNA right now.
Yeah, they can force the issue here. If they want to go high ground, they can actually take a fight here and now. But we will see if they're just happy. I think they're just happy with the tier 2 gonna try and get another lane now. Chip away, get a little bit of advantage bit by bit. Just get that gold back in their favor. Even stealing a stack here on the Ancients. This is actually really good by Liquid. Surprised that they tried for that SNA. Their aggression is surprising me every time, I feel.
Yeah, it's like they go for kills even when you think that it might not be favoring them.
Yeah.
And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But it's also gotten them into a position where they're 1 racks up here in game 1.
They didn't lose a hero at least. They backed out and got out, you know, pretty escape free. Unless, you know, of course the tower mid died, but it was a really low HP tower anyway.
I don't know, man, this is tense. Like, I still don't know who is actually going to win. I mean, if I'm looking at it on paper, I would say SNA. But
Liquid have some good execution as well, though. Like their movement and what they're doing when they're behind right now is actually quite good. They have been farming non-stop on several heroes, so as we say, this is kind of a bottom laner against right now. Can't try on this one.
Way too far. SNA is actually teleporting in. He wants to look for somebody. He does have a Hex. DC is trying to make his way out. Is he going to get spotted? Looks like is actually kind of just
Liquid know about this, and they kind of want to fight as well. Liquid have 5 heroes very near to this, and oh man.
SNA, he gets force-staffed actually almost towards the enemy team. He's going to get force-staffed again. Qualifier BKBs and blinks in, though. He wants SNA. He's going to be able to find him. I'm pretty sure he does have buyback. Actually, no, he doesn't have buyback, and there's going to be an arrow that hits on IX Mike. The Static Storm and the Kinetic Field, it hits on 2. IX Mike now coming out of Disruption, able to walk away. They're going to be able to get TC
he actually
here.
dies.
And now they want to come in from the back. There's a blink forward by Bulba, but it's just Whitebeard who's here left. Usha's coming in from the bottom. Way2's here as well. That's a double kill for Qualifier. Suddenly it's a 1-for-2 trade favoring Liquid. They want
Tiny is so lonely here.
He's going to get forced out. Way2, he's got another Hellfire Blast. The Avalanche comes out. Both teams pretty much stun each other right there. And Demon's going to throw out a Nightmare and try to make his way out. In the meantime, Qualifier is chasing down Fluff as well. Bottom, they're looking for Demon. Ush is here. He doesn't have a stun for another couple of seconds, though, and Fluff, I think,
Fluff has got to go down to Mirana for sure. But that was Fluff buying some time, because if he didn't go in at all, I think they could just have hammered down on a Tiny and killed him, actually. So I don't think Fluff was too much out of position. That was just necessary movement, because Fiend Strip was available. They could have just killed the Tiny with a Disruption, or with the Bane being so close. So really surprising aggression from SNA again, but this time Liquid were ready for it, and they had 5 heroes so close. Even with the BKB on Furion, he died so fast, and having buyback on Furion is always something that I can't like it.
Money.
Yeah, of course he just got the money to buy his BKB and he bought it, but in any scenario pretty much on Furion, you would rather have buyback than having your next item. You want to have that money to go always.
Yeah.
Because if he could buy back there, the fight would have been completely different. Then if Tiny wouldn't have been so lonely when he comes in, and the Nyx wouldn't have gone down that easily. It's just one decision to buy the BKB that early.
All right, well, we'll see if back to bite him. I mean, this is
this Tiny is scary now, man. Jesus, he has Daedalus.
Daedalus. What do you go next? Like Butterfly, Manta, maybe?
I would probably say Manta style, because it's so easy to push and siege with it. As for the you know, there's already as well, I didn't even see that, but there's already, I just finished MKB on the Mirana. So good in this game, but it definitely would add a lot of damage to you with the attack speed.
It's still good against the DK, and it's still good against the Wraith King, who's continually getting more farm. Like, it's not just one damage source anymore, it's, it's like many.
It's not bad, it's just that I think the Manta style is so much easier to play out because of his illusions being so strong, as we talked about with the Darks here. The illusions allow you to push towers and high ground so much easier, and even in team fights, if you put 2 tiny illusions on a support hero, let them hammer away at him, that support hero is not happy.
Okay. So Liquid absolutely cannot, under any circumstances, let this Roshan go away. Like,
no, they will lose if they do.
And the thing is...
Oh, Mirana actually arrows here. Nice awareness.
That's a haste on Ush.
Yeah, he wants to go for something,
if
but
he's
can't
not
really
double damage, he's hasted. That's pretty much how this Tiny has been this entire game. So SNA, they're looking to try to back out here. Way2 and the rest of Liquid are
Yeah, they want to
follow.
push out the top lane before something happens. And if they're going to go for the Roshan now, I mean, both teams know that Roshan is up, but then they want Furion to push out top first and get a good advantage so that even if they go into Roche Pit, they're going to lose some HP on the top tower and in a 5-on-5 fight during that.
Yeah.
So
I think if you're Liquid, you go to Roshan sooner rather than later. I think the longer you wait, the worse it's going to be to try to attempt Roshan.
I think so too. Yeah, for sure.
And they have vision over the pit. They don't have any sentries down, so they're not sure that SNA actually has vision there, which they do. It's just a tense situation, man. Like, one mistake, like one bad mistake can actually just end the game at this point.
Knowing SNA, I think they're going to go on mid lane. Like, I keep watching them and how aggressive they have been, but maybe they're going to play a little bit more safe after losing that last fight. Actually, gonna try for bottom now with a Boots of Travel coming in, try and catch the Furion, but he has a BKB and a Force Staff. He could just TP out.
They saw the trees die. The arrow's gonna hit on SNA. He's gonna go down here, I think. Even if he pops the BKB, I don't think it's gonna be enough. He gets a Nature's Wrath off before he dies. Demon's also gonna teleport out of a really bad situation to bottom lane, so.
He actually had CD on TP, so there was no way that he could live. I saw that later, like, he just TP'd down and he doesn't have a TP scroll at this point.
He doesn't have buyback either for 30 gold. They have to either kill a tower or he needs to be 30 seconds basically into the future. Hellfire Blast going to be used on IX Mike. He force staffs himself away, and Viper throws down the kinetic.
So
not going to be
again, a nice pick though for Liquid, getting that Furion. They're getting these important kills as well onto Furion several times now, actually, later on in the game. And even though this game is actually only 14 to 15 in a 46-minute game, I can't say that this feels boring or slow. This is really active of a game.
Yeah, everyone's constantly looking for something. It's not really that much farming on their side of the map, since I would say.
Oh, they got tried to stop the Roshan a little bit here.
Way2, he's going to go for the D ward. Going to eat the Demonic Purge as well. He has enough mana for Reincarnate as well as the Ultimate being up. Carapace going to be used. The arrow does land though on IX Mike. Does Way2 want to try to follow this up? The rest of Liquid are coming in. They should be able to kill IX Mike. Defensive Disruption comes out. Ush throwing out a stun. Doesn't really hit on much. SNA comes in with the BKB pop. Quakefa has his BKB popped as well.
Oh, trying to kill the Dark
Not really
Dragon
much
Knight.
damage being dealt right now. And here comes Ush with
That's
the BKB
crit.
pop. He kills one. He's going to get Fiend's Grip. No, he gets the Fiend's Grip cancel, and suddenly Ush comes in with a double kill. Bane and Dragon Knight already down. SNA is going to be dropping here. Quakefa pops the Manta. He's going to be the next to go down. Ush
Tiny
with the
damage,
triple.
man.
Bulba, no more mana left. The crit comes out. Way2 comes back in with the Blade Mail. Gets disrupted after the Hellfire Blast. The glimpse, but Bulba,
into
he
the jungle.
blinks into the trees. Stay in the trees,
Stay
my
in the
friend.
trees, Bulba.
Stay safe. It's a triple buyback coming out of Liquid. They want to come back in. They want to defend this Roshan. Here comes the arrow. Is it going to land? Ush manages to dodge. The blink away from Fluff as well.
Yeah, and this could be a Roshan after all for Liquid, and if they get Roshan now, who came out on top? What do you even say to that?
I guess Liquid because they still need the Aegis. And this is a cheese as well.
I guess because of the importance of Aegis and Cheese,
But the
sort
thing
of,
is,
but that's
SNA bought back for that. SNA bought back for that fight.
SNA bought back for it, but triple buyback from the Dragon Knight, Mirana, and Bane, and they still lost that hard as well, and Tiny did not even die. So a lot of gold towards the Tiny. He has travels now as well. I don't know, man. It's hard to say.
Five buybacks used.
Yeah,
Like,
that was a whole lot going down. But at this point, I don't even know. I think SNA can probably capitalize a little bit more on the fact that Liquid are lacking so many buybacks now. But as you say, the Cheese and the Aegis, that's a lot of advantage going back to their way.
I think one of the biggest problems that Liquid are running into right now is that TC's item progression has halted. Like, ever since he finished the AC, which, God, it feels like 10, 15 minutes ago now. That
It's longer, I think. I think it's like 20 minutes since he finished the AC, actually.
Hasn't actually gotten anything else.
Yeah, it's a long time. And to be honest, the thing that we talked about earlier, how does a gear slotted DK against a gear slotted Tiny fare up? The thing is that it's very hard to farm DK that much, and especially in Liquid's lineup, because they're all farming. Everyone is farming a lot. Looking at the CS chart, you have 300, 280, 200, 200. That's a lot of farming. So you can't really blame him for not having new items, but with the buyback, it definitely stunts him even more.
Yeah. I mean, the big things to note is that Bulba has Hex. He has Blink Hex now with his BKB. He needs a good wall. Like, everything I think for Liquid has to go so well for them to be able to win a fight at this stage, especially after investing so much into getting a Roshan. Like, if you put that much into the fight and you get Roshan, okay, you're on the right track, but you're not out of the woods yet. You have to win a really big engagement. You have to take something away from SNA, other than just saying, okay, we're spending like 7,000 gold for this Roshan.
Yeah, but I came back a little bit in that last fight to something that I said earlier as well. Tiny against several sort of strong heroes. You could see those crits and how everyone just lost all their HP. The buybacks were used really early in the fight because of Liquid. They just went down. The Tiny was crushing people so fast, which is, you know, not really the case when you have a 4 protect 1 because you will just stay out of the way. But they have to go in. DK has to go in, Brave King has to go in. Everyone will be close for the Tiny and he will just punch him.
Punch him, man.
Punch him.
That's what you got to do at this stage. You just got to punch him. Quakefell, he's got another Aegis. IX Mike's going to casually blink away. The rest of Liquid's coming in, though. Arrow to fly, but
Dire's
will
middle
not land.
tower is
I like the
under
Ninja
attack.
Whitebeard position. He's going for his stagger imps in the world on Disruptor because going Blink Dagger first on a, you know, support Disruptor, you're not going to get that much farm. And to be honest, it's actually the Shadow Demon that has more gold in the game. He's been the one that
He's 5. He's only died once.
Yeah, he has died once.
He's died one time.
And
in a
that one
50-minute
death
game.
was not out of position. It was not him playing bad. It was, in my opinion, a completely necessary death.
Oh, Demon. Going for the Nightmare here. Nice 4-step
Yeah.
now on Fluff.
So Fluff playing out of his mind on this Shadow Demon, in my opinion, just insane.
I don't know, man. This is... I really still favor SNA in the game. I can't really say that Liquid are out of it either.
Oh no, they're definitely not out. Still a fighting chance for them. And here we have Mirana just leaping away, trying to stay safe. But
Light
the
Shadow.
Hex.
The Hex? Oh, he can sprout.
They
but
can't keep up with that.
Still a tier 2 tower, man. It's too dangerous.
Yeah. One point that's going to come up soon as well is that this Nyx Assassin, he has 3,000 gold. If he gets to something like an E-Blade, he can be even more annoying in a team fight as well. And he has been a core hero, but he has not really been feeling like one until now, I feel. No offense to IX Mike, he has been playing amazing, but he doesn't feel like a core. He has landed amazing stunts. But if he gets an E-Blade, then that would be insane in this game, I think. They could definitely burst down the Bane really fast and just help keep Tiny alive from some of the right clicks.
Next choice he's going to make, I mean, he could just as easily, I think, go Book as well. Like, helping the push is never a bad thing. And E-Blade is very expensive, and I feel like it's a one-dimensional item in this.
I think if he wants to go Book, it's more so to just a team fight against Wraith King, and not so much for pushing, because the pushing power from Book in a 50-plus minute game, it kind of fades, and you're just giving away a lot of gold. Of course, you will chip away at the tower slowly but surely, but I think it gives more gold than you really want to give away, and it's an expensive item. Top lane now, gonna try for a kill here, but Wraith King is not the hero you want to go on.
Yeah, he had a gem as well. SNA is going to get Dragon Tailed immediately. One stun on each side so far, but
Mana Burn's
level
actually doing a
16
lot of
Dragon
work.
Form. SNA trying to run away here. In comes Ush from the back. There's going to be a Hex on TC. The Soul Catcher lands. They're going to be able to kill the DK, and SNA is still alive. Stay inside the trees, my friend. Here comes another vacuum from Bulba. The wall.
Oh, the Fiend's Grip.
The Fiend's Grip onto Ush. No one's able to help him right now. There's another stun, this time actually onto way to Ush. He goes down.
And
he can't
Liquid
come back in the fight. Liquid suddenly turning this. They're chasing right now onto Whitebeard. Quake's going to get glimpsed back, but I think both of these heroes are actually just going to go down. Whitebeard going to be the first to fall. Now it's jukes into the trees by IX Mike. He manages to get the blink off, and Way2, he's stuck inside the woods with some necro creeps. Quake
Everyone is
Demon
just
helping
staying in
take
the
it down.
trees.
The disruption goes off. Fluff, he pops the Ghost Scepter, but
wow,
gets
what
brain
a
zap to the
huge
face.
fight for Liquid. That was insane, but again, this is SNA. They have this relentless sort of aggression, and sometimes it's gonna work out, sometimes it's gonna be horrible, because when you play this high risk, it's definitely gonna punish you against experienced teams like Liquid sometimes.
And TC had the cheese, I assume, during that fight, because he went from being at like 20% to
Yeah,
just
he had a
full.
cheese.
So the fact that the combo that they dumped on him didn't work, I mean, we said it, man. They needed Roshan. Like, without Roshan, TC likely dies there. And Quakefoot might not have died, but they would have at least lost something. And now all of a sudden it feels pretty not so great for SNA.
If they're actually fast enough here, Liquid, they could force some sad buybacks from SNA, because they only have 2 heroes alive, but we will see if they can stall this. Oh, you don't want to buy back when you have like 10 seconds on a respawn, but Liquid, they're gonna play it safe. Just gonna back out instead.
Yeah, I think that's the better call, because I mean, look at Way2. He has no health. Sure, he has reincarnation, but
yeah, the Aegis is also
fighting
out
without it.
Yeah.
I like that choice by Liquid quite a bit. And Quakefoot, he's got enough for his Mjolnir now. Aegis faded, he's just at full HP.
He has a lot of DPS at this point, really getting that damage. Sure, in the beginning he had some slow progression with damage items, but adding up the MKB and now a Mjolnir as well, that is some crazy extra damage coming out. So, looking over to the Demon now, he has 1600 gold. I think he wants to get a Ghost Scepter right now, but maybe he's just saving buyback because they feel that if they die, they need to defend base. Tiny will just prone them if they die once, don't have buyback. So maybe we'll just keep that gold.
And it looks like Usha is going for a Satanic, so he's... TC who started doing that?
I don't know about this. I would much rather see a Mjolnir on him, to be honest. Just look at his attack speed. It's not very impressive.
Yeah.
The damage is insanely high, for sure. It's a tiny, so it's always going to be high. But adding up a Mjolnir is a good choice because it's the best item in the game when it comes to increasing your attack speed, and you already have the damage, my friend. So I don't know about the Satanic. Gonna keep him alive a little bit longer, but that's not really the main issue. Main issue is...
He died because he was disabled, basically.
Yeah.
And if he's getting disabled, the Satanic's not going to do anything for him.
Exactly.
That's kind of my argument. It's like, okay, you're against a Fiend's Grip, a Dragon Tail, arrows, Hellfire Blast. Your BKB is down to 5 seconds now.
Yeah.
You have to use your BKB when you're going to Satanic, and you cannot do it any other time.
That's actually one thing we haven't talked about that much. That we said earlier that Liquid have an insane amount of single target, but then you have SNA who kind of run a 4 protect 1, not really with the Furion, but still they have one main carry, and they have so much single target, so everything is gonna land on the poor Tiny. And I don't know, man. If you want survivability, I even think a Heart or a Butterfly, even with MKB on Mirana, would have given him more. So, not completely agreeing with it, but we will see. Maybe he can get some clutch save off with it, and then, of course, already justified. So, the 2 minutes double damage rune has now decided to spawn on the bottom lane.
Yeah, that's like the 18th one or something like that.
It's just there, you know. If you want a DD rune, it's always there for you. But we're gonna see both teams playing a little bit more safe now, just sitting back. And it's funny actually if you look over to CS for just a second, you can see how it just stops. You have all these heroes who have been farming, and then suddenly it's the poor supports, man.
Yeah, but that's an advantage that you can give to Liquid, because if you look at the 3 bottom, outside of the Bane, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, even Way2's got 200 CS.
Yeah.
260 CS.
Oh, Way2 has been... Oh, DD Miran, I gotta find a pick here on Fluff. Yeah, and that's a gem again going the way of Liquid. And that's a newly purchased gem. They lost one in the last fight as well. Now they lost the second one. That has to hurt.
Yeah, and I mean, he can just stay down here if he really wants to, although it would be risky. Because
he's actually in vision right now. He's not hidden, so Disruptor gonna make a play here, gonna try to kill him, but 3 hits
worth
and
it
he's
if he
dead.
dies, I think. It's worth it if Quakefa dies.
Yeah, he caught him, so it's good for him.
That's the worth it. Baited moment.
Yeah, and buyback is ready, by the way, on the Mirana, but she still has a 120-second respawn here because her previous buyback, she hasn't died since that one. And are they gonna fight here?
Yeah, they're turning around, man. They're gonna teleport back to the tower. They do not want to give this up. Bulba going forward. He does have a blink and a hex if he wants to try to start engagement on the zone.
So
they're gonna force that
push
push
on top
away.
lane.
Yeah.
Radiant's
They're just
top
all
tower
running in.
is
They
under
want to stop
attack.
the TPs back to base. They realize that the creep damage can be dealt here. The vacuum into the trees. Unfortunately, it's not going to spot anybody, and Usha's going to be able to make it out. So
that's fine. That's about 1,000 damage to a tier 3 tower on top lane. So Liquid, they should be pretty happy with this. And I'm surprised again that SNA tried to force tier 2 tower when they only have 3 heroes live. And even knowing that the buyback should be ready on Mirana as well. So the aggression from this team is it's a refreshing thing to see. Actually, compared to some teams that will just play scared Dota sometimes, like a little bit too scared. There's one thing being safe, there's one thing being scared, and that is one thing being SNA. They're just ridiculously aggressive, don't really care about anything.
Well, I think one other thing that most wouldn't do is they wouldn't just actively give away a hero. And speaking of giving something away, Demon, he gets caught by the soul. Oh my god.
1 hit.
Okay.
That was not even a crit.
And that forces Quakefa's buyback. That forces him to buy back because they know that Roshan is going to be spawning relatively soon.
Yeah, and now they can be pretty safe on SNA. Arrow gonna land, but nothing really with that. And SNA, with that buyback from Mirana, they can feel pretty safe to just go push another lane, or they can go and attempt something on mid lane. They're sort of camping around Roche Pit now, but they're correct that Roshan will respawn really soon. But I don't think they can walk down in the pit against Liquid. So they should go for a kill or go push another lane with Furion, and that's what he's gonna do. Or he stopped it actually.
I don't know, man. It's like SNA just don't back up. They just stay
there.
there.
They don't know the word back. They just keep going.
I think not having the Fiend script makes this a really easy Roshan, though, because Ush doesn't have to worry about getting disabled through his BKB. He buys back. They want to go in. Bulba's
now
on
they
high
can
ground.
back off again and just... But they don't know the word back. They gotta go in.
Moonlight Shadow. They're going to find Way 2 here. He does have enough mana for Reincarnation. TC, he's going to pop the BKB to cancel the Glimpse. Now Way 2 pops the Blade Mail. Wants to turn around. Ice Spike, he kills himself on the Blade Mail. Other BKB popped by SNA. He's trying to make his way out of the fight. Another buyback this time. It's going to be on Way 2. The illusions from Tiny doing quite a bit of damage to TC.
Down.
He's going to be in some trouble now. Quakefa pops his own BKB. There's the Starstorm. Avalanche not actually going to make contact here. Whitebeard and Demon kind of going toe-to-toe as well. And Fluff, he gets thrown into Quakefa. He's trying to chase him down. TC, in the meantime, he manages to kill SNA in the middle lane. That's a profit buyback.
Tiny gets so lonely.
He's going to get gripped now. Demon's here. The arrow actually misses.
Nice
He
force
gets force-staffed out of the way. There's the vision cancel with the Sprout as well. He summoned some trees. He's still trying to go ham. The Satanic is now down. Another defensive disruption. Whitebeard, he's going to be dropping as well on the backside.
Furion, get out, man. Get out.
Not looking so good. I mean, the Furion can't really get out, man. There's so many stuns here. He throws out a Hex, and buys back, but he teleports into the creep wave.
No, this could be so bad.
He's going to get vacuumed back. There's the Hex as well, and this is going to be a dieback, man.
Oh, it's a dieback.
This is a disaster.
This is a disaster. That is the true definition of disaster. The pinks are just all over the base of SNA. Demon wants to go straight down that lane. They have travels on at least the Mirana. Darkseer could also buy travels, so he's just going to join them as well, but wow. I mean, they are playing high risk, high reward, and also high
Okay, IX might kill himself.
Yeah.
He actually killed himself.
Yeah, I saw it on the Wraith King, right? With the Blade Mail? Yeah.
I mean, they took down Way 2, but I mean, that's the thing. They have 3 heroes with farm as opposed to SNA who have 2 heroes with farm. So as soon as somebody dies on the side of SNA, like if a core dies, it's way worse.
Yeah.
Like SNA dying first, that's like what, half their team's farm just down the drain straight away. So I think if a hero dies on the side of SNA, that is either the Furion or it's just significantly worse, and now neither of these heroes can actually buy back into the game. It's just going to be...
they can't. They should either be 2 lanes or game. They could be game.
Blink forward and look for more kills.
Yeah, they're going for the throne. They know that there's no buyback on either of these heroes, and this has to be a moment for play from SNA. But how do you even make a play? These are the 3 least farmed heroes on their team and almost in the game. How can you stop this?
No, man, this is...
30 seconds to Furion, but this is not going to be fast enough.
30 seconds to Furion. It sounds like a movie, man. What a game, man. 61 minutes. There's no glyph. It looks like Liquid are going to be able to take game 1.
Wow.
Ancient is under attack. Team Liquid victory.
1 minute and 46 seconds, and a crazy, crazy action-packed game for the 50 kills that we saw in this game. But wow, that was just... They never stop. They're the definition of never stop. They TP in with Brutal Travels and TP in with Furion buyback, and they try to go for something, but man, in the end, Liquid, they came out on top in that last fight, and when you play that high risk...
2 buybacks. They had SNA with buyback on Furion, which is a really good hero to have buyback on because you're right back in the fight. The Tiny had bots. They both died twice.
Yes.
Game is hard.
Yeah, and the Furion could most definitely have run away and backed out there when he actually died the first time, or the second time, I feel. Because he was trying to go for another kill, trying 1 against 4 with, sure, he had his friend the Disruptor being nightmared up on top, but if Furion backed off, they would just have killed Disruptor, and that would have been the end of the fight. And then Tiny and Furion would be alive without buyback, which would not have been game. But in the end, really exciting game, and I guess that does it for them in the first game. So... more games coming up.
Now they got to win 2-0, man. The pressure's on for SNA. If you're an SNA fan...
I'm an SNA fan now, man.
Well, I'm an SNA fan as well, but I'm saying, like, if you are, like, talking to the people who are watching, if you're an SNA fan, hopefully you're rooting hard for them because they absolutely next game if they want to keep their hopes of the TI4 alive. So good luck to them, and of course we'll be back here in a couple of minutes. I'm Draskell.
Yeah. I'm Waga. The struggle is real.
The struggle is real. Be back in a few minutes.
gonna say an even higher ratio here for Team Liquid.